We will call this concurrence meeting to order on House Bill 45. And we'll start out with the amendment, or no, let's start out with the bill.
No. Oh, we don't do roll call. Okay.
We can do roll. Let's do roll call.
This is a roll call for a joint conference committee on House Bill 45. Representative Locke,
Aye.
Representative Sherwood,
Present.
Here.
Representative Stibar,
Present.
Senator McCown. Is it McEwen?
Here.
I apologize. Senator Ide,
Here.
Senator Pearson.
Here.
Okay. Committee, do we want to start with the bill or the amendment?
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I can at least quickly summarize the bill to make sure we get there, if that's okay.
Please do.
And I don't have it in front of me, but I will in a minute. But in short, this was Bill, what the long-term homeowner originally did, very simply was it, if you all recall, the original long-term homeowner was sunset after 2 years. And we were removing the sunset, and we made a couple of other minor changes. We changed a reporting date to March 1st, I think,
To sign up.
to sign up for it, exactly. We modified the sign-up procedures a little bit. And then one of the issues that, and so the bill was pretty simple. That's really about all that the original bill did. It did not, the one other thing it did, it brought some clarity to the fact this one issue with the long-term homeowner, and really this was a problem with several of our bills, was the fact that if a person had sold a house in the previous year, there was an issue where they might have been, a long-term homeowner. They changed residence, and the way the bill was originally written, it didn't give them credit for the fact they'd been here and they just sold one house and bought another. There's some language in the original engrossed bill that covers that. So that was it.
There was one more change. We put the $3 million cap in it.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's right. I'm sorry. I glossed over the
I
$3
just
million
wanted to catch
cap.
that before
Yes.
we got to the amendment.
Absolutely. Now, was the $3 million? Yeah, well, let me ask you. Oh, there it is. Yep. You're right. And I had
One
overlooked
other
that.
comment? Mr. Chairman, can I say something here?
No.
Along those same lines, on that same one, we changed it from assessed value to market value.
What
This-
about no, don't you understand?
Right. We changed the language from assessed value to market value and then included that $3 million cap. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, and there was a long discussion on that. We kind of had a commingling of assessed and market. And after quite a long discussion with the department, they made it clear, hey, whether you use fair market or assessed. So we chose to use fair market consistently in there because it's harder to say, if you put a cap, it's harder to do that. What's the assessed value, where it's easier to say, here's fair market. So it was just a simplification.
The other thing is, I worked on this with a couple of the assessors. And that word changes nothing to the bottom line.
Right.
The tax is still the same. The valuation of the house would still be the same.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Chairman, would you like me to propose an amendment?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me throw out an amendment that I have here somewhere. Okay, here we go. So there were a couple of amendments made in the Senate, and there was just a few little things that were confusing to me. So I wanted to basically, and I'm sorry to have created this meeting, but really this meeting is partially kind of to clean that language up a little bit. So sorry to drag everyone into this. But what I did is I proposed the amendment deletes the two amendments placed in the Senate, and is all we're implementing here. It was my understanding that the intent was to make sure that if a person signed up for the long-term homeowner exemption, that if the if the People's Initiative were to pass, then these would be duplicated. Without this amendment, they would get the long-term homeowner and the People's Initiative. The goal was to make sure that you could only leverage one of those exemptions. So what the language of this bill does, and is all it really does is sort of tidy up the language of the amendments in the Senate. And as all this amendment does, again, is it implements that if the Secretary of State certifies the Department of Revenue that the voters have approved an initiative implementing a homeowner's property tax exemption and the exemption is enacted into a law, an owner who qualifies and applies for an exemption under this paragraph, the long-term homeowner, shall not qualify for the exemption under the initiative. So all this does is make sure that if you choose the long-term homeowner, you don't get the People's Initiative exemption. The goal, as I understood it, was to make sure we did not stack these. So it just fixed that small issue. So that's literally all this amendment does, is it tidies that up to make sure that if the People's Initiative pass and you're a long-term homeowner, you won't leverage both of those. You'll take the long-term homeowner 50% exemption over the People's Initiative, for example. And really, that's it. That's the amendment.
Comments, questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for welcoming me to the party. My question is pros and cons to saying in the amendment we're looking at says shall not qualify. Totally agree with the reason why we're doing this. We don't want things stacked. Versus an earlier version, we saw the words repeal. So the idea that if the People's Initiative passed, then the long-term homeowners program would be repealed. Just want to hear from the group pros and cons to not qualify versus repealing.
We took the repealer out in case the People's Initiative doesn't pass. So as we go through the interim, we'll probably come back to tidy this up afterwards, one way or the other. But if it doesn't pass and we put repeal in here, then it gets into a trigger bill and then everybody wants to argue constitutionality. And there's enough time in the future to implement this that we can do a quick amendment on it as needed.
Just a quick follow-up so the public knows too. Right now, the long-term homeowners tax exemption is set to sunset July 1st, 2027. Is that correct?
Up until if we concur on this today, that sunset goes away. The other thing that was added was the limit.
Thank you.
No question.
Senator Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear, this first part, it says page 1, line 4, after years inserting establishing a limitation on the long-term homeowner tax exemption. Is that referencing that cap, that $3 million limit? Is that why that's in the catch title here? Yeah.
Yes.
Good question. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It actually conceptually, what we did with this amendment set a limit too, because what it limits your ability to leverage both. So it probably applies to both of those aspects of the bill, in my opinion, if that helps.
Yeah. Just a quick follow-up. Say that one more time, just on both aspects. Would you reference both aspects? Thank you.
Sorry, you just want me to clarify?
Yeah.
So when I read that, I originally, that first line where it says establishing a limitation, in some ways we are establishing a limitation on the long-term homeowner, where you can use a long-term homeowner, but not in parallel with the People's Initiative if it were to pass. So I believe that limitation language probably is consistent for both this amendment as well as the $3 million cap. But I noticed that when we amended the cap we probably didn't have that specific language, so.
Thank you.
Senator Pearson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what was the wording in the two amendments that we're deleting on the Senate side?
There's really only one amendment we're deleting. And that was, I got a little aggressive and put language in to support the 25% also. Well, that's kind of outside the scope of the bill, so we'll look at that on 147 or some version of that over the interim. And I believe there's language in the 25% cap already that does not allow it to be stacked. But we need to make sure during the interim. That's basically what we did. We took out the 25% exemption
Okay.
from this particular piece of legislation. Any other questions? I guess we will vote for concurrence. You want to call the roll?
So a roll call for concurrence, Representative Locke,
Aye.
Representative Sherwood,
Aye.
Representative Stivar,
Aye.
Senator McEwen,
Aye.
Senator Ide,
Aye.
Senator Pearson.
Aye.
That is 6 ayes.
Well, we have concurrence and we'll adjourn.
Don't we have to sign something to walk them through? I think we did.